Hey everyone, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your daily forecast for the day of Friday, May 4th, 2018. Now what we've got going on today is the moon hanging out right here in Capricorn. When the moon is in Capricorn, it brings our attention to responsibility, to work, to all the things that we have to do. Also to our career, to where it is our life is going. If it's going in a direction that it is that we like, and our reputation, okay? Those are all the things that Capricorn is concerned about coming in. All right, another thing to keep in mind is that the moon doesn't like being in Capricorn. That's because the moon likes being in Cancer, where it can feel comfortable and it can feel nurtured and warm. And in Capricorn, it's got a lot of things to do. It's hard to feel emotionally comfortable when you got things that you need to take care of to make sure everything's going according to plan coming in. So just want to keep that in mind here with the moon in Capricorn, all right? Now, late yesterday and into today, we had this moon in Capricorn here in a square with Chiron. Okay, where it could have brought up late yesterday, I want to say some hurt or perhaps some uncomfortable feelings here when it comes to where your life is going. Maybe feeling like it's hard for you to put your life in the right direction. You don't know how to put your life in the right place, or there's something perhaps with you and who you are and how you do things. Maybe that is a little bit difficult. With the moon, as it was in Sagittarius, coming off of a trine to Uranus, it could have been something unexpected, perhaps, or unusual, maybe some kind of unusual insight as well that came up right before then that maybe brought some of these uncomfortable feelings up about where your life is going and about how you get there. Okay, so that's what was going on yesterday. Then once we get to today, the first aspect is going to happen around noon, 12 p.m. Mountain Time. And what's going to happen then is that the moon's going to move further through Capricorn, and it's going to come into a conjunction with Saturn. All right, and Saturn is the natural ruler of Capricorn, okay, which the moon is going to be touching, which again could bring up lots of responsibility that it is that we have, lots of things that we need to take care of to make happen. Saturn as well could bring, because the moon doesn't like being on Saturn, a feeling of restriction, okay, feeling like we have lots to do coming in here and it's hard to get the things done, or we have so much going on that's weighing on us, that's preventing us from doing the things that we really want to do emotionally, or maybe because we have so much going on, right, feeling as though there's something inside us that we want to take care of that we can't because everything else is going on, all right? So that can definitely come in at noon, Mountain Time, okay? And the moon's actually going to do that for the rest of the day, okay? Where I think we're just going to have a lot of work here that we're trying to get done, that we're trying to take care of, trying to make happen as well. Maybe not feeling the most comfortable that way as we want to feel, maybe feeling like we've got some emotional needs that aren't being taken care of, okay, but needing to put in the work to own up to the responsibility to take care of some of those other things that are going on. All right, so that's to me what today is all about. The next aspect that is going to happen is actually going to happen at midnight, so that's why I'm saying it's basically going to happen tomorrow, coming in around 12 a.m. and that's going to be after the moon kind of moves through Capricorn throughout most of the day. It's going to come into a trine with the sun. Right around the same time it comes into a sextile here with Neptune, since they're both, what, 14, 15 degrees. And I think what that could start to bring tomorrow is starting to get a feeling like you're finally getting a handle on things. You're finally taking care of the work that you need to do so that you can feel more confident, feel more organized, feel better about what's going on, feel like you're building something that really has purpose and can help you move forward, okay, with the trine to the sun. I think as well with the sextile to Neptune coming in early tomorrow morning, you're starting to feel more at peace with yourself, more comfortable on the inside, like you're overcoming the past, like you're doing the things that you need to do to feel better, all right, coming in. So I do see midnight tonight and tomorrow feeling much better, more stable, more at peace than we have earlier today and maybe some other days this week as well. And I think today it really is just a matter of putting in the work, doing the responsibility, doing the things you need to do even if you don't want to do them, so that by the time we get to midnight, we can feel like, okay, maybe we can take a break. Maybe all this hard work is paying off. All right, maybe now we're getting a sense of what we need to do and how we can do things so that we can start to feel better. All right. Yeah, that's what I see there. Now, other stuff that's happening in the background, we do have Venus here in a square to Neptune coming into, it's not quite there yet, coming off of here, the sextile to the north node and the square, going into the square to Neptune. So maybe we're having lots of conversations here with relationships, about relationships or about money as well coming in, that I think are helping us to figure out what we need to do to move forward, to do more of what we like and need to be happy, to do some things that can help put our lives in a better place. But I think there could be some confusion that's starting to come in, perhaps as a result of these conversations. Even though we're thinking and gathering information that may be useful to us, to help us, maybe it's hard for us to put all the pieces together to make sense of our relationships and our money in some way. Maybe as well with Neptune, there's a lot of stuff going on inside us that maybe we aren't aware of. As well, or that's hard for us to put into words, maybe also bringing up the confusion about relationships or about money as well, or the confusion in our conversations, just because there's so much going on inside us that we aren't sure of yet, or that we're trying to process, maybe making it difficult for us to communicate about the things that are important to us or with other people in the right ways. Okay, so that could be something that comes in that we'll start to feel more and more of. While that's happening, we also do have Mercury slowly coming into square with Pluto. I'll be talking about both these things in your weeklies for next week, because they're going to be exact next week. But this could also bring up very intense conversations, negotiations, changes here in the way that you think about or in the way that you use your money to achieve the things that you want in your relationships. For sure, renegotiating how you spend money and time in relationships, who you are in a relationship with. Okay, coming in a lot. I definitely see these two aspects related because Venus is in Gemini, and the ruler of Gemini here is Mercury in a square with Pluto. So just a lot going on. Maybe you want to rearrange your finances, rearrange your money, change some things, change some relationships so that you can finally start to feel better. And maybe you're trying to figure out, right, what you need emotionally, what you need spiritually, what you need intuitively, so that you can start to make the right moves here, so that you can ultimately, right, feel better about these things that are important to you and put them in a better place. Okay, so maybe just rearranging a few things in life so that we can start to feel more at peace with them, and really trying to figure out what we need to feel more at peace so we can move forward. Okay. So that's happening there. Then we also have, again, another thing coming in next week, which is why I didn't really mention him too much in this week's weeklies, is Mars here coming into a square with Uranus. So these are all some very intense aspects occurring, intense squares, okay, which I talk about in my monthly webinar, May 2018, if you want to know more about these in advance. But there's a lot of intense squares that are coming in, and what Mars in a square with Uranus could bring for sure is perhaps people acting out in weird ways, people getting frustrated, that they're being, caged in, perhaps tired of old situations, old things that are bogging them down. Okay, maybe people doing some things that they didn't expect they would do, or that you didn't expect they would do to break free. And I think right now, with all these conversations and negotiations and things we're thinking about in our mind, may start to build up a little bit, so that by the time this Mars-Uranus comes exact, people could end up doing weird things, or you yourself could be fed up with situations and want to break free with them coming in. And I think, right, that's what we're starting to come into. Okay, one thing I wanted to make sure, I thought about it after I did my daily yesterday. One thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned with this Mars-Pluto conjunction, just to back out a little bit, and with the full moon in Scorpio, we've been stepping into some really big changes in life that we've been working on since the beginning of this year, even before that. There were a lot of things, and Saturn was in Sagittarius the past 3 years that maybe brought up some tough spots. Okay, really us maybe realizing there were some things in our life that weren't working for us anymore, and that we needed to do new or different things coming in with Saturn and Sagittarius. things, okay? And I think since Saturn left last December, we've been trying to change our life to more fully let these new things in to our life that we've been cultivating, and these new belief systems as well, and to start to live them. And I think it's been hard for us since the beginning of this year to actually live the things that we wanted to live, that are new and exciting for us, because we have attachments to the past, attachment to old ways of doing things coming in that could be hard. And I think at this full moon, we finally started to more and more loosen the grip on the past and think more about the future and start to go there. And I think we really are, especially with Chiron changing signs, Uranus about to change signs, no more planets in Sagittarius anymore. I think we really are finally starting to live these things that months ago were just an idea or were just a seed, and now we're finally starting to come in them in a really big way and change our life to live them. But now with all of these squares, I think we're realizing I still need to change some things with relationships and money in order for me to feel right. Maybe we're anxious with the Mars Uranus. Uranus rules your nerves, and in a square with Mars, maybe we're anxious about some things that are going on, or things aren't quite right, even though we're in a better spot maybe than we have been, changing our life in a better way that we've been. Maybe we realize, okay, I'm almost there, but some things are not where I want them to be. And now we have a few more things that we want to change and readjust and work with, and a few more things going on inside us that we need to address, so that we really can begin to step into this life, to live it, to make it the best we can be, and to envision a better future off of it, especially with Mars square Uranus. If you want to think of Uranus as being the future, I think we really are trying to finally begin to step into a future, being more authentic about who we are, breaking free from the past. And I think really this is what's going on this week. We feel like we're in a spot here now that is different perhaps than it's been the past 8 years or so, that we're coming to a big completion moment, stepping into some new chapter, but maybe realizing, wait a second, even though I'm here, there are things that are still not where I want them to be, and I'm so close, I need to do what it takes to make it happen now, so I can have this life, so I can step into this better future for myself, so that I don't have to deal with it later. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out, is how to be this person we've always wanted to be, how to live our life the best, the most freeing it can be, to feel the most authentic in it. And I think that could bring up some hard conversations, some frustrations, or some restrictions, because we want some things and we're so close to having them and we see them coming, but for some reason things right now are not there, and we want them to be, okay? So that's what I see going on with all of these squares that I just talked about. The Sun as well, in an opposition with Jupiter, saying, okay, make some things, tweaks here to have a more authentic life that it is that you want, to be free, to be yourself, to see a better future, but try to have an eye on stability. Try to make sure that you're creating less problems for yourself instead of more. That you are honest in what you say. That's how do I explain this? Taurus can be stubborn sometimes, and it's not the stubborn part that I want to bring out. It's the steadfastness, being steadfast with what you believe, with what you want, with what you're trying to create. I think that's what Taurus is saying. Sure, lots going on. Your life is changing in a big way. We're stepping into these changes, creating a life, hopefully that's more free than it's ever been, making a few negotiations, okay? But Taurus saying needing to be steadfast with what you believe, needing to understand what you value and hold true to what you value as you make some more of these changes, so you can make sure you're putting things in the right direction, okay? Right, again with Jupiter here in Scorpio, maybe some more changes you need to make, but especially with this full moon coming off, saying, okay, fine, make some more changes, but again, try to make them so that you feel like you're in a better place than you've been before, okay? And so that you feel like you're bringing out more of your true self, more of what you value, more of what can bring stability to you, instead of undercutting it. And I think I've been saying that for a while. Okay, so we've got that there. The Sun in a sextile with Neptune, saying, look, if you do more of what can bring you stability, and if you hold true to your values as you make some negotiations, as you have some conversations, as you try to break free, it's going to help you here to feel more comfortable with who you are on the inside, to be more at peace with yourself, and overcome some things in the past. All right. Jupiter as well, and a trine to Neptune, saying, look, anything you can do to finally step into some big changes and build on them in a more stable way. Be confident and be more steadfast with some of your choices. I think going to help you to bring more of the inner peace, to feel much better, to feel like you're moving forward, tending to your emotions in a very positive way. I like to think, and hopefully stabilizing some of your emotions a little bit more too. Okay? So that's what I've got there for you. Now your card for the day is the Chariot reversed. This card to me is definitely it being hard to control things today. Things being all over the place with this card reversed. I think of like the two horses carrying the chariot, like walking away in two different directions. And of course it's hard to carry a chariot if your horses are like in different places. So I think what it's saying is you gotta find your direction today, especially with the moon in Capricorn on Saturn. You gotta figure out what you want. If that means you can't do some things you want to do that are important to you, that you think are fun, then you can't do those things. You have to sacrifice doing that so that you can take care of the responsibility. And I think this card is saying, look, you're gonna lose today if you're torn in 100 different directions, wanting to do 100 different things, answering to 100 different people. You gotta figure out what's important to you, especially with the Sun in Taurus, what you need to do, what you value, what will yield the most results at the right time, and you need to focus on doing that instead, okay? Maybe Venus and Gemini could get distracted a little bit coming in here, lots of different things and people wants to be out and about and communicate. Coming in, maybe the square to Neptune too, making that a little hard. And I think the moon in Capricorn today on top of Saturn is saying, okay, you got to focus. I understand, you know, a lot going on with the mind here, wanting to communicate, talk, explore your options, but there are some things you need to do to need to get done. You need to focus, you need to take care of those things. And once you take care of that, it's going to get a lot easier, especially at midnight with the trine to the Sun and the sextile to Neptune, okay? And just trying to stay the course here and to not lose focus, at least for the time being, all right? So that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.